Hi everyone, Miss Dyer here. I will be doing your reading lessons for this week, and it is Monday, so that means it is book talk. So the text today that I'm going to be looking at is another one from the Heroes of the Titanic book. So I'm going to read you through the text that we're going to be looking at today. So it's all about third class and the third class passengers. Third class was also called steerage. Rooms like Anna's were the smallest on the Titanic, and steerage tickets were the cheapest. Still, the third class cabins were roomy with good quality wood panelling, warm floor coverings and wash basins. The tables in the third class dining room were covered in white linen tablecloths, and plenty of nourishing food was served. And it just says at the bottom there, as this poster shows, the Titanic was scheduled to return to England on April the 20th. Just got an email there. This next part, Anna Turger and Minnie Coots, strangers in steerage. Looking for a new life. Like many in the Titanic's third class, 18-year-old Anna Turger left her home in Finland, hoping to find work and a new life in America. After Anna boarded in Southampton, England, the Titanic stopped in Cherbourg, France, to pick up more third-class passengers, Arabic speakers from Syria, as well as families speaking Croatian, Armenian, Greek and Lebanese. At dinner, her second night, Anna heard many languages she did not understand, including English. Other steerage passengers boarded the Titanic in Queenstown, Ireland. These Irish men and women were also joining relatives in the United States. For the rich and poor, the Titanic was a ship of dreams. At dinner, Anna spoke Finnish with her cabin mates Maria and Sanni. Maria's children were with her and perhaps played in the general room with the sons of Mrs. Minnie Coots, Neville, aged 3, and William, aged 9. Minnie and her boys were sailing to join her husband, an engraver in New York. Something like a shudder. Anna and her friends were in bed when the Titanic struck the iceberg. She was awakened by something that felt like a shudder. She remembered thinking there is something wrong with the engines. The brother of one of her cabin mates alerted them. Get up, or soon you will be at the bottom of the ocean. Anna wasn't scared, but others fainted. Maria trembled as she dressed her sleepy children. And it just says at the bottom there, where was third class, and it's just highlighted it in red for you there. And it says steerage cabins were located in the bow and stern sections of the ship. The Titanic had only 2 bathtubs for the 710 third-class passengers. Right, and then we'll find out about this other lady here, Minnie Waits and Wonders. In her cabin toward the rear of the ship, Minnie Coots felt only a slight jolt. She lay awake for 15 minutes until she heard others outside her door. She stepped into the hallway as passengers with suitcases moved toward the stern and up to an open rear deck. Most wore life jackets. Minnie didn't want to wake her sleeping sons, so she continued to wait for news. Sitting on her bed, Minnie struggled not to panic. She had to set a good example for Neville and Willie. She waited nearly an hour in her room, allowing the boys to sleep. Anna disobeys orders. Meanwhile, Anna and her friends made their way toward the boat deck. They disobeyed the seaman's orders to stop climbing up. After they passed, he closed and chained the doors behind them to prevent others from coming that way. Immigrants crowded together on the rear decks, which had no access to lifeboats. Anna's group kept moving. We were not told what had happened, and we had to do our own thinking, she said. She called it pure chance that she emerged on the boat deck. The last page of our reading today. Minnie and Anna were berthed far apart because third-class cabins spread over 4 different levels of the Titanic. Passengers had to navigate a maze of staircases, passageways, and decks to find their rooms. 2 large public rooms flanked either side of the main stairways leading down to the steerage cabins, a smoking room for men and a general room for all. There, third-class passengers talked, played cards, and read. Some played harmonicas, fiddles, Irish bagpipes, and small drums. Others sang or danced. Steerage passengers shared fun together despite their language differences. Right, so that is the text that we are going to be working on this week. So our walk for today is to use book talk to understand a text. So as we have done ever since you started in year 6 and for the last few years as well, we're going to start by looking at our thoughts, questions and wonders. I'm just going to show you a little example of this, and then I'm going to let you do the rest yourself, as you all know how to do this. So just looking at this first bit, I might draw an arrow there. Third class was also called steerage, so I might put a little question there. Why? Why was it called steerage? I might write, why was it called steerage? And then obviously because we're in year 6 and we know how to do this, I'm going to move this over a little bit there. No, I can't, never mind. Because we're in year 6 and we know how to do this, we're going to try and answer our question as well. So we've got, why was it called steerage? Well, let's think about it. It's kind of got the word, well, it's got the word steer in it, hasn't it? So I wonder if down where the third class passengers were, I wonder if that's where lots of maybe the steering equipment for the ship was. I'm not sure, but I'm thinking about the words in the words. So I might put, perhaps the cabins were near the steering equipment. And it could be that. Okay, so you might put that there. Can't see that as well. Just move it over so you can see it. So that might be that bit there. Rooms like Anna's were the smallest on the Titanic, and steerage tickets were the cheapest. Still, the third-class cabins were roomy with good quality wood panelling, warm floor coverings and wash basins. The tables in the third-class dining room were covered in white linen tablecloths, and plenty of food was served. I wonder what food was served. So you might draw another little arrow coming there. You might put, I wonder what food was served. And then you might try and answer it yourself. Because if it's third class, it says there, plenty of nourishing food was served. Does it mean then it was the same food that the first class passengers had? I wonder what food was served. Was it the same as what was served to the first class passengers? Now, just using my knowledge, I would probably say not, just because of the difference in the price of the tickets. So I might put, perhaps it wasn't as good as they hadn't paid as much, possibly. We're not sure, we're just doing thoughts, questions and wonders. So as you can see there, I put a question, I've got a question mark, and I've tried to answer it using perhaps and things as well. Right, the next bit, Anastasia and Minnie Coots looking for a new life. Like many in the Titanic's third class, 18-year-old Anastasia left her home in Finland hoping to find work and new life in America. After Anna boarded in Southampton, England, the Titanic stopped in Cherbourg, France. So if she's from Finland then, why did she board in Southampton? Why was she in England? So I might put that. I'll just move the text down a little bit, but we might put why did she board in England? Why did she board in England? So did she come to England to board the Titanic, or was she there anyway? Maybe she travelled to England to board the Titanic, as it didn't stop in Finland, as it didn't travel to Finland. Maybe she travelled to England to board the Titanic, as it didn't travel to Finland. Or it could be she might have boarded the Titanic in Southampton, England. She might have been in England anyway looking for work. We know she's looking for work in America, and that's why she's getting on board the Titanic. So maybe she was in England looking for work, hadn't had much luck, so decided to try for a new life in America. So I could put, perhaps she had been looking for work in England. Let's check that makes sense. Why did she board in England? Maybe she travelled to England to board the Titanic, as it didn't travel to Finland. Perhaps she had been looking for work in England. Don't know, do I? stopped in Cherbourg, France to pick up other passengers. All the steerage passengers boarded the Titanic in Queenstown, Ireland. These Irish men and women were also joining relatives in the United States. For the rich and poor, the Titanic was a ship of dreams. At dinner, Anna spoke Finnish with her cabin mates, Maria and Sanni. Maria's children were with her and perhaps played in the general room. Perhaps? Why is it saying that they perhaps played? Might write a little comment there. Might ask a question. Maria's children were with her and perhaps played in the general room. Why does it say perhaps played? What am I doing here? It needs to be... There we are. Why did it say perhaps played? This suggests that we don't know for definite. And why don't we know for definite? Is it because they didn't survive the Titanic? So this suggests that we don't know for definite. Is this because they didn't survive? I'm not sure. So we put a question. We've kind of answered it with a perhaps, and this suggests, and then we've actually put another question as well. So we're questioning and questioning even further. So you might put that there. Why did it say perhaps played? This suggests that we don't know for definite. Is this because they didn't survive? I don't know. Minnie and her boys are sailing to join her husband, an engraver in New York. Well, you might write, what is an engraver? An engraver, I'm thinking about the word in the word engrave. So is it a bit like someone who inscribes in things, possibly? And why was her husband already in New York? Why wasn't he travelling with them? So I might do that a bit of a question as well. So I might put, why was the husband already there? Now, when I've been reading about the Titanic and things like that, I've read, and especially the Reading for Pleasure extracts that we did last week, I know that a lot of the husbands, a lot of the fathers, they went to America to find work first, saved up money, and then sent it back for the families to then come and join them in America. So I might put that. That could be a reason why. Why was the husband already there? This might be because he was earning money to send back to his family. He could have been setting up a business there. He could have been setting up the home there for the family first. So why was the husband already there? This might be because he was earning money to send back to his family, or he was setting up their home and life first. So he wanted to get things ready for them. It could possibly be that as well. Right, I'm not going to give you any more examples because you've done this lots and lots of times and you know how to do this. So the texts are there. We've done these two there, and you've got those to do as well. Now the full texts are on the website and they will be in the full page like they are in the book. When you do your book talk year 6, please try and put a little bit more in. We're getting lots of work in, which is fabulous, but I don't think you're putting as much as you could put in. So think about, imagine if you were in the classroom, what kinds of things would we be expecting you to put in? So put your thoughts, your questions, your wonders. Don't just copy what I put on here. Try and do your own as well, because you're more than capable. And don't forget to try and answer your questions yourself with perhaps, or maybe, or this suggests. Okay, so that's the end of it for today for our reading. So we'll be back tomorrow for our vocab lesson. Good luck year 6, and really try and push yourself to put that extra detail in with your questions and wonders. Okay, bye-bye. Bye.